Hello and welcome to the Behind Enemy Lines podcast. Today we're going to try and paint an LVT 4-A similar to this one we have here. Alright, so first of all I'm going to start out by giving it a bit of colour, as required of course. I'm using the AK Interactive Wargame series. So the Wargame series is different from the other series which is for painting, display pieces. A bit of airbrush splattery there. This one's designed for... I think it's designed for 15mm or wargaming sizes, so it's pretty cool. First colour I'm staying with is the olive drab shadow. That is going to take it from black to this. It's all a one-piece model, I might mention that, so this is a really cool miniature. You've seen the unboxing video, you've seen it, it's one prior to this one. Also, I'm using the same techniques I used for the Sherman, so that's why this video is sped up to 4-speed. If you want to see a bit more in depth the painting of it, it's very similar. So just it's one or two or three or four. It's a couple of videos back. Yeah, just take a look. I could add links. I should do that. Anyway, green, very important, and of course the little pack 75 howitzer. Oops, turret there with its nice 50 cal for murdering folk. Once again, I'd like to thank Battlefront for giving us the opportunity to continue to display your miniatures and to review and play with them. It's really good. So thanks for that, Battlefront. This is, of course, is part of our Pacific campaign for the books Gung Ho and Bonsai. Alright, so I'm moving up to the next shade of colour, which is olive drab base, which is the next one. So this one's gonna, each shade's gonna bring it up level of lightness. So because I'm having all kinds of issues with my airbrush today. It was painting too dark or too light. It was causing all kinds of grief. So it was spitting and splattering. So it could have been just the day that it was. So humidity has been a bit weird as of lately. But it's almost winter, so painters will be excited by that. I'm excited by that until it gets to the point where my hands get too cold that I can't paint. It's a fine line. I can only paint in spring and autumn. Oh well, such is life. Yeah. So just lightening everything up here. So you can see each thing change as I go over with the airbrush. This is a neat little vehicle. It's slow, and it's got the same turret as an M8 Scott. But it's relatively cheap for what it is. It's Fearless Veteran in the Gung Ho book, so you're paying for the points here, but the pack house is great for getting rid of Japanese dug-in stuff, especially their horrible gun teams. Their horrible gun teams. Next up is the first of the highlights from that olive drab. There are 4 paints in the set, but I'm only using 3 of them because I don't need to go any further. I think if you use the 4th one, that'd be more or less if you're trying to do that really hardcore edge highlighting, and that would be more. That'd be more 28mm. I mean, you can do it in this with a piece of card and some good hand-eye coordination, but I can't do it. Well, I mean, I haven't tried it, but I don't want to try it. I've got to paint like 9 of these, and I don't really have time to do all 9 of them. So we're going to go through highlighting this one up, bumping the camera, not cool. So when it hits the light at a certain angle, it already looks like sand colour, but it's not. So what I'm going to do here, thin the paint because it's been. What I'm going to do with this particular one is it's going to have the same masking. So that's a hard edge type camouflage, and that's done with silly putty. So once we finish this, I move on to my favourite thing, which is silly putty masking. I know it sounds odd that masking with silly putty, but I've done it on so many things. I've done it with Stugs, I've done it with Panzer IVs, and I'm doing it with my Marines as well. I don't know if there's anyone else who really used that, so I can't find anything. I can't find anything to use it as an excuse to, cover all my toys with silly putty. All right, I'm probably doing a bit off screen here because I have old man eyes, and my airbrush is playing up, as I explained before. But yeah, sometimes I take it away from the screen because I need to look at it a bit closer because of my old man eyes, and I like being right up close. I love getting a mouthful of atomized, olive drab, my favorite. So, doing the last of those wheels. the side of the tank. So really, I've got in my list, I think I've got 3 of these, as well as something like 3 of the ones with the Stuart turrets, the LVT 4-C, B. One of the letters of the alphabet. It has a Stuart gun, and it's really cool in the Pacific because you also get canister round, which is something like it's like a big shotgun basically, but how it's used in Flames of War is it's basically a rate of fire 6 machine gun, but out of your main turret. So that would be really good at breaking up suicide charges, which the Japanese can and will do. The 75 though is great because it's a little howitzer. Not going to do a bombardment with it obviously by itself, maybe with a couple other friends that will in the platoon of 3, but most of the time it's going to go gun team hunting, which is what I'll use it for. As long as that gun team doesn't blow me to bits first, which can happen, because I think these have a front armor of something like 2 or 3. They're not very good and they're slow. So, next favourite part, Silly Putty. So I'm giving it that weird wavy formation, as I do, make it look like tentacles growing over the vehicle. Great stuff. And at one point, I'm going to use one of my sculpting tools to push out little circles, like kind of little disc shapes that are pushing into it, simply because I want to actually create the waves. It's hard to go in with your fingers into this because Silly Putty is very tacky. It's much better than blue tack. Blue tack will remove paint. That's a guarantee. So I avoid using blue tack at all costs, except to hold the bottom of the miniature onto a old paint pot. I'm going to do something special with the turret here. I'm going to mask off the very bottom of it because I want the top to look like it's a sand colour. I need to attach it very carefully. And I want to go all the way around. Alright. I should do that back panel as well. So I'm probably taking it away from the screen so that I can get a better shot on it. Yeah, there we go. And create some round wavy kind of shapes. So the next colour I use is, after this, is the German, it's from the AK Interactive series, it's a German Dunkelgelb light base. Not the shine, it's the second to last one in the German Painter series, so it's a really light shine. So I've done it already, so now you'll be able to see the difference. I didn't show that on the screen because I must have forgot to record, but it's only painting like a light sand. So here we go, removing the Silly Putty, using the Silly Putty because it's the best thing to pull itself off. And Silly Putty is playing ball today, which is good. Alright. Now let's do the panel. See, that's the wavy lines I was looking for, and that was achieved just by pushing down with that tool to poke out the Silly Putty. Alright. So I was going at one point to stop here because I thought it looked pretty cool, but no. I wanted to do some more. So XF68, that's NATO brown. Going to use it for my Team Yankee stuff, but haven't got around to putting that one together yet because I've got Pacific. And I'm going over things. So it's not too red, it's not too light either. So it's a perfect colour. It kind of matches the palette that I'm going for here. So as you can tell, I use a lot of different paints. Well, you'd think I'd use AK Interactive by itself, but I have a lot of Vallejo and the other things I use. You just don't seem to use them. But Tamiya has always been really good at airbrush paint. It's pretty posed to use as a brush paint. Anyone who does is a bit weird, I think. But as an airbrush paint, it is top notch. I love it. I'd use it for everything if I could, and the best thing is if you have Tamiya paint left over, you just pour it from your reservoir there back into the pot. All the other ones don't because they have dropper bottles, but you know you've got to find out a way to get that paint into your reservoir. Tipping is not a good idea. I normally use like a little what do you call them? Little suction-y thing that squirts the thingy in the thing. Oh, so good with the words today. So many words. I feel like Donald Trump, using my words. Anyway, didn't do the turret because I wanted to keep that sand look. So here we are, removing the silly putty, and here we go. Now it's creating 3-tone camouflage that I wanted. That looks real good. Top part. See, I didn't want the brown to dominate, and it hasn't, so that's great. I wanted it to be there as a feature color. So that's what it looks like. They let me go through. I'm just going to quickly go away. I painted all the add-ons, so now I'm using AK Interactive Wash for dark yellow vehicles. It doesn't matter that my vehicle started out as green or dark yellow or brown. It shouldn't matter. It's just the shade that I've chosen, and it's one I've used previously. I could use the green, but the dark yellow one's not as dark. If that makes any sense. The dark green one is really dark, so the dark yellow one is a shade lighter. So I'll just go through. I'm only going to show you like one side at a time because otherwise you'll get bored. Alright, so I'm using some odorless thinner here. Don't need to use the brand name, it's all the same. One thing I forgot to mention is that you'll need to give your miniature a coat of satin or gloss varnish. It doesn't matter if it's matte or matte, but satin or gloss varnish will help the capillary action of the wash. So if you put it in a panel, it will pull it. If you don't use any varnish at all, putting thinner on top of acrylic paint will take the paint off. I forgot to varnish the turret, and oops, I removed some paint. So, bit of emergency repairs there going on. A lot of swearing. Now I'm going to move on to the North Africa dust pigment. You can use any deserty type colour or sand colour. So, small mistake there. I was using a damp brush. Not good because it puts big clumps of paint on. So, come with a really dry brush. You can see the dust start to push around, like to get in between. So, this is almost identical to the Sherman video, except this is a way cooler toy. So, muck that up in there. Get it to blend in real nice. So, leaving enough of the original colour showing in. Breaking up any big chunks of pigment that may or may not be there. Well, may be there, but turn them into a dust. Alright. So, top on. Fail for TV, good work. There we go. And smack the camera and boom, we're done. Look at that. That's ready to be played with. Well, after I varnish it, of course. Don't want to get pigment all over my hands. Slight issue on the turret there, but nonetheless, it's good to go. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.